Hello, I'm Adrianne, and welcome to Lunchtime Yoga, coming to you from my home studio, just as most fitness instructors are teaching from home at the moment online. So, very big welcome to you. So, we're going to get started straight away. We only have an hour for lunchtime, so I won't be keeping you. And we're going to start in a nice, comfortable, seated posture. Whatever that is for you, with the legs crossed. The legs can be out in front, or you can place the soles of the feet together. We're going to take our Jaan Mudra, which is our thumb pressing lightly against the forefinger. The other three fingers are nicely outstretched. It's not rigid, it's just nice and relaxed. And just bring those hands down to the knees, palms face up, and just allow the shoulders to rest down the back. And you can close your eyes here or choose to take a soft gaze, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And as you come to your seated posture, just taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Sigh it out, let it all go. Repeating that twice more. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And deep exhale, releasing through the mouth, relieving tension. One more, nice deep breath in. And nice deep exhale, sigh it out. Just returning to a nice, steady, even breath. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. And just taking time for yourself to be present here. When we come to our mat to practice yoga, we often come with thoughts of the past and thoughts of the future. Try to let those thoughts dissolve and just drift away for the next 60 minutes. This is your time, your practice. Try not to let those thoughts influence or distract you. Bringing that mind and body connection, that full experience of mind, body, and breath working as one. As you let those thoughts drift away, just recognize how you feel today. Recognize your body. Observe any tightness or tension that you may be holding, and maybe direct the breath down to those areas to try and release even deeper. Our practice today is a dynamic grounding flow. So respecting and honoring your body, any injuries or conditions. There will be some modifications. So if you like a more challenging practice or a less challenge in your practice, you can choose which option you wish to take. And coming to your intention, an intention for practice, what we call in Sanskrit a sankalpa, or a positive statement or affirmation to take you through your practice and also into your day. I am grounded, balanced, and centered. I am grounded, balanced, and centered. Maintaining that nice, equal, even breath Breathing in and out through the nose of equal length. Nice and slowly releasing the mudra and just stretching into the palms, stretching the fingertips away, creating space between each of the fingers, and then wiggling into the fingers and circling into the wrists, circling one way and the other. And then gently opening the eyes, and we're going to take a child's pose onto our mat. So I will join you there. And just coming down onto your mat. You can take a wide leg child's pose, or you can be active and engaged. So active and engaged, the toes, the heels are together, the knees, the thighs are together, wide leg. You can take the knees a little bit wider. And then just walk the hands out. You can always use a block if you wish to underneath the head if the head isn't meeting the mat. But create length into the spine as you exhale. Relax the body, relax the chest down towards the earth. Bring the forehead down and then take a few nice deep breaths here for yourself. Breathe into the back body. And exhale, release the buttocks, the hips, back behind you towards the heels. A couple more deep breaths here. And exhale into the earth. And that last breath, draw into that intention. I am grounded, balanced, and centered. Slowly inhaling, coming into a tabletop position. The knees are underneath the hips and the wrists are underneath the shoulders, really spreading the palms wide here. And if you're on a hard surface, you can always just double up the mat to give you extra padding underneath the knees. Try and keep the feet hip width apart, coming into a gentle cat and cow as you just drop the belly, arch into the lower back and lift into the chest on that inhale breath. Exhale, curl into cat. Press high up into the shoulders and the upper back. Inhale. That initiates that movement to come into that cow as you open, and then exhale into that cat pose. Drawing the belly up towards the lower back. Repeating twice more at your own pace, your own flow of breath. Inhale to look forward, exhale to curl. Just mobilizing through the spine. And just starting to feel grounded and connected to the earth through the legs and through the palms of the hands, coming back into that tabletop position. And then just reaching the right leg back behind you, just pressing into the toe beds here. So you can feel that length through the back of the leg. Try and find a nice line all the way from the crown of the head right back towards the heel. Deep breaths, and then on the next inhale, you lift the left arm, you lift the right leg, you reach away, and then on your exhale, you draw that knee in towards the elbow into the center of the body. 4 times on this side. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, draw in. Draw the core in. Stabilize through the pelvis. Deep breaths. And then release that hand down. And take that neutral position in tabletop once more. Release that left leg back, gentle press into the toe beds as you press back through the heel. You can always soften into the knee if you need to. Try not to lock into the back of the knee. Pressing nice and long. And then next inhale, reach the arm and the leg away. And exhale, come in, curl high up into the back, almost into that cat pose once more. Breathe in, reach away. Exhale, come in. Using the core to stabilize your work with your opposition sides. And last time, coming in, draw that elbow in towards the center. And then release back into tabletop. And then just pressing the right foot up towards the sky. So trying to flex into the ankle, flex up towards the sky, trying to get a 90-degree bend into that back knee, and just lightly pulse that foot and that leg up towards the sky. The hips are nice and stable. Deep breaths, drawing in the abdomen, try not to dip and arch into the lower back, always protecting the spine. And then on that last press, open the hip, turn that thigh parallel with the mat and press that heel out to the back of you. So you're pressing through the palms to open through the chest, and then slowly release, taking it to the left. Left leg raises, pressing up, tiny pulses, glute pulses here, stabilization through the hips and the pelvis, trying to open the hip until we come to that scorpion tail. Feel that sole of that foot pressing high up towards the sky, and then slowly open the hip, parallel thigh to mat, press that heel away. And then slowly release and preparing to come into downward facing dog, tucking the toes, pressing through the palms and the hips back, keep the knees bent, and just pedal out through the feet, through the ankles, bending into the knees. Do whatever feels good for you, this practice. Maybe you wish to look under each of the armpits, give yourself a little twist. And then when you're ready, exhale into downward facing dog. Take a few nice deep breaths here. Feet are hip width apart. Arms can be either in line with the shoulders or a little bit wider, but pressing away from the mat. Lifting through the sit bones, stretching through the back of the legs, reaching the heels back behind you. Nice and slowly bending into the knees, looking forward, walking the feet towards the hands at the front of the mat. And then when you get there, take the feet a little bit wider. And then find that groundedness through the soles of the feet. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, fold the belly and the chest over the thighs, letting the head release and relax down towards the mat. Maybe at this point you wish to take hold of the elbows to let gravity take over and release the body even more towards the mat. At this point you can lift the sit bones. You can keep the knees bent, of course. Into that ragdoll pose for a few deep breaths. Find some peace and calm. Nice and slowly release the hands, bend into the knees and heel toe the feet out to the outer edges of your mat. Turn the toes outwards, heels come in, coming into a Malasana squat. Heels may not reach the mat, that's okay. You can always use a block if you wish to sit on top of your block. Bringing the hands into the heart center, placing the palms together, pressing those knees outwards and back. Trying to rotate through the feet so that they're not rolling inwards, they're rolling back towards the back of your mat. Try to lengthen through the spine, taking nice deep breaths, maybe closing the eyes, let the hips drop. This practice works with the lower body, the feet, the ankles, the legs, the hips and the pelvis, and a release into the lower back. Heel toe the feet back in towards the center, hip width apart or toes together. Exhale, fold, and then bend the knees, roll up nice and slowly through the spine. Last thing to come up is the crown of the head and come into Tadasana, mountain pose. So think about the heels in line with the hip, in line with the shoulder, and that neck is long and reaching up towards the sky with the crown of your head. Bring the hands into heart center, a couple of rounds of Shivananda Sun Salutations. The arms raise on the inhale, press the pelvis forward, open through the chest. Exhale, thumbs to third eye, forward fold. Inhale, half forward bend, lengthen. You can always bend the knees. Then bend the knees, step back, right leg high or low lunge. So you can drop the knee here. The arms raise as you sink the hips downwards towards the mat. Release the hands towards that front foot and then step it back. Downward facing dog on that deep breath out. Try and find the breath. Inhale, lower. Exhale, we're going to release to ground position, so chest comes between the hands. Release to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back behind you. Bring that leg straight through to meet the hands. Drop that knee if you wish to. Inhale and exhale, sink. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, arms out to the side, bring you up to standing. Prepare for the left side as you breathe out. Inhale, upward facing salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Half forward bend. Exhale, bend the knees, step back left, high or low lunge. You can keep that knee off. Inhale as you raise the arms, center through the hips and the pelvis, sinking the hips on the exhale. Release the hands to the front of the mat, ground through the palms, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, ground position, chest, chin to the mat. Release to prone. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back behind you. Leg comes straight through between the hands, high or low lunge. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, sink the hips towards that front heel. Release the hands on that exhale, step forward. Forward fold, let everything release. Inhale, arms raise up towards the sky. And exhale, take it back into Samasthiti. Take a few deep breaths, check in with the body. Settle the breath, preparing for right and left once more. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, fold, step back, right leg, high or low lunge. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, sink, root and rise. Reach long, place the palms, step it back, downward dog. Exhale. Inhale as you lower the knees, draw the core in. Exhale, ground position, chest, chin to the mat, hips remain high, release to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back behind you. Leg comes through between the hands. If it doesn't meet, you can always use the hands to bring it through. Inhale, high or low lunge. Exhale, release the hips to the mat. Step forward on that breath out. Inhale, arms raise, come up to standing. We're going to go all the way down. Exhale, hands to third eye, forward fold, let it all go. Inhale, half, lengthen away. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, step back left. Anjanasana, crescent lunge. Inhale as you reach, exhale as you sink. Inhale, reach long, exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale into tabletop, draw the core in. Exhale, ground position. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Nice, beautiful flow. Inhale, left leg up and back. Bring that leg straight through to meet the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, sink the hips, press back through that back heel. Front knee in line with the ankle. Exhale, forward fold at the front. Bend the knees. Inhale, engage core. Bring you up to standing. Exhale, take the hands back into heart center. For a few moments, breath. Sun salutations really do get that heart rate going. So just noticing your breath. Noticing your heart rate has increased. And just taking a check-in with your body after our first few moments of warm-up and into our sun salutations. We're going to come into our first flow. Inhale, upward facing salute. Press the hips forward, the arms reach back. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale, lengthen into that half forward bend. You can always bend the knees, keep the hands onto the shins. Exhale, bend the knees, place the palms by the side of the feet, step back right, step back left into a high plank. So you're going to find that alignment all the way from the crown of the head right back towards the heels. Lift the abdomen. Try not to dip the hips, and then slowly lower the knees and take a heart pose here. Release to the tops of the feet, and then exhale, the heart comes down between the upper arms. Maybe it's more comfortable for the chin or the forehead to be rested on the mat. Just notice how the spine feels here, and you're grounding through the palms and through the legs. Nice and slowly coming onto the forearms. You can always leave the knees down, or you can tuck the feet and lift into a forearm plank. Press away from the mat and then exhale as you lower. Hands come to the middle of the ribs, little higher into that cobra. Draw those elbows back towards the hips. And exhale as you lower, tuck the toes, send the hips back. Downward facing dog, take 3 breaths here. Nice deep Ujjayi breaths, that victorious breath, that audible sound as you slightly constrict the back of your throat to breathe in and out. And then nice and slowly inhale, right leg up and back behind you. Open through that hip just as we did in our tabletop position. Release that left heel down. And then press that sole of that foot out and back behind you. Nice and slowly bring that leg through to meet the hands. We're going to open it up, warrior 2. Open the hands and exhale, bend. Try to think about working from the feet upwards to the crown of the head. So stabilizing through the hips and the pelvis here, and turning the chest towards the side of your mat, looking along that middle finger. Nice few deep breaths here as you ground through the soles of the feet, that feeling of rooting and rising. Inhale, reverse warrior, arm goes up to the sky. Exhale, sink into that reverse. The left hand comes back down towards the back of your foot. And that right arm reaches up and back. Feel that stretch down the side of your body. Couple of breaths. Slowly release that arm nice and gently onto that elbow. Try not to put too much weight. You're going to lift into the side body. Use your core. Arm raises up towards the sky. Nice side angle pose coming up. Maybe you wish to extend that arm across. And then maybe you wish to take the gaze up towards that hand or just under the armpit. Again, test the balance here. Maybe take that arm off. Nice and slowly turn on the tips of the toes of your back foot. Left arm comes down. We're coming into a nice, easy, twisted lunge as you release that arm up towards the sky. Couple of breaths. Slowly release, come back into the center. Heel toe that front leg out towards the side of your mat. Turn the toes out, heels in. And just release that back knee gently, coming into a lizard or a dragon lunge here. So you might wish to release that back foot. You can always use blocks and props if you wish to keep the height. So as you sink the hips downwards towards the mat, try and keep the pelvis nice and stable. Maybe you wish to extend this pose even further by coming down onto the forearms. You might be able to reach the mat. You might be able to come down onto a block. Try not to dip into that left hip, so really keep that left hip high. Spine is nice and long, and again, you can extend into this pose by lifting that back knee and just rocking forwards and backwards. And then maybe the arms come up into that high lizard lunge. Deep stretching for the inner thighs, the groin, the hamstrings, the quads, the hip flexors, the spine. Slowly release that knee once more. Take it back into a half splits. So just pull that front foot into the center. Turn the toes up towards the sky. Lengthen through the body. The hip is in line with that back knee. And then exhale as you fold over that front leg. Always bend that front knee. And if that knee is too painful underneath you, just roll up that mat. So you've got extra padding. Slowly press into that front foot. And from here, this is your choice. Try and get onto that fleshy part of the lower thigh. Release that right arm as it goes back. You can stay here and reach if you like into that twist. Or maybe you lift that back foot and come into a monkey twist. Release the arm and open the chest towards the sky. Keep sinking the hips as you draw that foot in. Use the breath. Find stillness, calm and peace. Smile to yourself. Release that leg and then place the palms. Tuck that back toe. Send that leg back. Downward facing dog. We're going to come into that connecting vinyasa. Lowering the knees as you breathe in. Exhale, chest, chin to the mat. Release on the exhale. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Preparing for the second side. Inhale, left leg up and back behind you. And then bring that leg into that scorpion tail or kicking donkey as you open the hip. Release that right heel down, square off the shoulders. Press away with that heel as you open into the hip. Deep breaths. And then slowly bring that foot forward. I'm going to come onto the other side so I can still face you. And we're going to come into that warrior two position. Find that position again from the feet up towards the crown of your head. Bend into that front knee in line with the ankle, back foot in line with the back of the mat. Look along that middle finger, relax the shoulders. Few deep breaths. Exhale if you wish to go deeper. Drawing the abdomen in towards the lower back. And sending the tailbone straight down between your feet. Inhale, reverse warrior. Arm raises up towards the sky. Few deep breaths here as you reach that back arm behind you and reach that arm above the head. You can always look forward. You don't have to look up. Whenever we change the gaze, it always gives us additional challenge. Going into that side angle pose, that arm comes down onto the knee and you rotate through that top upper part of the body as the arm raises up towards the sky. Keep lifting to the side body, not too much weight into this arm. Maybe you wish to extend that side angle pose, bend a little deeper, and then maybe you rotate a bit more in towards the armpit, the chest, and the side of your rib cage. Again, the gaze can be straight forward or up towards the hand. From here, we're going to release. We're going to turn onto the back of the toes. That arm comes down. You can drop that back knee if you wish. Hand may come to a block. And then you release that left arm up towards the sky into that nice twisted, easy lunge. Few deep breaths. Slowly bring it back into center. And then just heel toe that foot out towards the side of your mat. Release that back knee, nice and soft, and then take it to the top of the foot. So here is your low lizard. Sinking the hips, trying to keep the pelvis nice and stable. And maybe you wish to come down onto those forearms. Each level is your option. And then tucking those toes if you wish to, pressing into that heel back behind you, rocking forwards and back a few times. And find stillness within that low lizard, trying to reach away with the crown of the head, full alignment throughout the entire body, all the way down to the heel. And then coming up into that high lizard, maybe on the palms, maybe on the fingertips, maybe on a block. Doing great. And then slowly release that leg and just heel toe that foot back into the center. Turn those toes up towards the sky. Think about the alignment at the back leg, hip above the knee. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you fold over that front leg. Think about the belly, the chest, the head coming downwards towards the knee. And the crown of the head is reaching forward. So you're feeling that stretch through the spine, but also you may feel something into the legs, inner thighs, groin, hamstring, back of the knee, calf. Wherever you feel those sensations, just think about how you're responding to them using the breath. Nice and slowly press yourself forward for that monkey twist preparation. So the hand comes down onto the mat to stabilize you. That left arm sweeps back towards that foot. You may stay here if you wish, or you can lift that back foot and draw it in towards the buttock for a quadricep and hip flexor stretch. As you sink the hips, you open through the chest up towards the sky and draw that foot in a little deeper on each exhale. Hold for a few breaths. Doing great, looking beautiful in monkey twist. Slowly release that foot. Bring the hands onto the center of your mat and then just take that leg back. Downward facing dog, deep exhale, connecting vinyasa. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale, chest chin to the mat. Release and inhale cobra and exhale tuck the toes, take it back, downward facing dog, and finding 3 breaths here for yourself. Find the focus. Once you've completed those breaths, just lowering the knees gently down to the mat and taking a child's pose for yourself. Again, you have that choice of keeping the feet, the knees together, or taking the legs wide. And again, you always can rest the head onto a block if you're not meeting the mat. That's the benefit of having props, is that they fill the space between us and the mat. And there is nothing wrong with using props. It's okay to use props. They are there to help us within our practice. So just tune in here to your breath. Tune in to the body. As we've done now our complete flow sequence, we're going to come up into a standing balance to connect us back to that intention of I am grounded, I am balanced, and I am centered. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes. Send the hips back, downward facing dog. Walk the hands towards the feet at the back of your mat. Feet can always be together, which is more challenging, or hip width, depending on how you feel. Exhale into that full forward fold. And maybe at this stage, you might lift the hips just a little bit more to stretch deeper into the back of the legs, all the way up to the glutes, top of the hamstrings. Let the head be heavy. And then nicely bend into the knees as you slowly roll up through the spine, bringing the shoulders in line with the hips, bringing the head up last. So coming into a standing balance, which is our tree pose. So stabilizing through the right leg, the left leg comes up, either into the thigh, either into the calf, or placed down at the ankle. Any of those places. Try not to place the foot against the knee, because you're going to press against the knee joint. So if this feels better for you, just place it on the calf. Hands can come into the heart center, or for additional challenge, the arms can come out to the side, or they can come up above you and the palms can meet. Find that drishti, something ahead of you, something to gaze upon that's not moving, that full focus, single point of gaze. And as you breathe, try to feel rooted, grounded through that sole of the foot, that entire supporting leg. Nice, even breaths. Hips are nice and stable. The foot is pressing against the thigh is pressing against the foot. And slowly release that foot down. Take a moment, try not to fidget, just feel both feet grounded. And if you need to, just circle through that ankle just to alleviate any tightness or tension from our standing balance. Stabilizing through the left leg, choosing your option, either the ankle, the calf, or placing that foot into the thigh. And press the foot against the thigh against the foot. Hands come into the heart center. They can go out to the side like a little tree, or they can come up above the head. And noticing the differences as you change sides. So finding that balance on one side might be a little bit more challenging on the other. So always feel that you've got complete control. You are fully balanced and fully centered, and you are grounded. Through the sole of that foot, try to release the toes, but spread them out so they give you additional stability. Breathing is steady. Breathing is calm. You find stillness in tree pose. And nice and slowly release the foot down. Take a few moments just in samastiti with both feet on the ground, trying not to move, fidget, play with hair or clothes. And if you need to, just release into that ankle a few times. And we're going to come down to our mats once more. So standing at the back of the mat, the arms raise up on your inhale. On your exhale, bend the knees, chest leads, nice flat back, forward fold. Chest comes all the way to the thighs. Relax the head. Exhale, lift the hips, forward fold once more. Feel that stretch into the back of the legs and into the spine. Walk the hands out all the way into that high plank once more. This is our final connecting vinyasa, which is a chaturanga, or you can come into knees, chin, chest, and cobra. So you come a little bit forward, you draw those elbows in towards the rib cage, don't come too low, elbows in line with shoulders, release to the tops of the feet into that upward facing dog, wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees, thighs, hips are off the mat, and then press back into final downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths. Then lowering the knees when you need to and just returning into a gentle child's pose. As you now return to your child's pose, just connect once more back to that intention. I am grounded. I am balanced. And I am centered. From your child's pose, just roll up nice and gently through the spine, keeping the chin in towards the chest until the last moment, bringing the shoulders in line with the hips as you lengthen through the spine, and then bring the chin up, bring the hands onto the thighs. Take a few moments here. And then swinging those legs around in front of you for our seated poses. So we're going to come into our seated forward fold, get those fleshy parts away from the buttock, turn those toes up towards you. You can always bend the knees. You can always sit on a block if you have very, very tight hamstrings. Inhale, the arms raise up, and as you exhale, you reach the fingertips. There's almost way past the toes, and then you'll feel that first point of resistance, which is where you can comfortably stay. Give yourself that additional wiggle, release more space from getting rid of that flesh, and try and have a nice flat back here. So you really open across the chest. Shoulders are nicely relaxed away from the ears. You're drawing in the abdomen and you're reaching the sit bones back behind you. With each exhale breath, maybe you come a little bit further forward. Try not to force anything within your body. We all have our own edge in each different posture. And our edge is that level that we can, push ourselves towards without discomfort or pain. And then try and relax the head, relax the body. The hands may come down towards the shins or to the mat. And just feel that nice stretch coming all the way through the spine, right down to the top of the pelvis. Maybe you feel some stretching in the underside of your legs. Just take a few deep breaths and breathe here. And then nice and slowly as you roll up, we're going to draw the left leg in towards us for a spinal twist. So you can take the arm and hook that leg and give yourself a hug, or maybe you wish to extend and you can place that foot on the other side and then bring the arm into the opposite side of your knee and bring the hand back into that mudra, sitting nice and tall into that spinal twist. As we start to now slow down our practice, just taking a check-in with your mind and your body. Noticing how you feel. Noticing any sensations that are coming up for you. Nice and slowly return to center. We're going to take hold of that foot now. We're just going to draw that foot back into an archer's pose. So sitting nice and tall, trying not to dip in towards the spine, towards the back of your mat, but lift up, press into the sole of the foot and almost draw it back. So it's like an archer pulling back his bow and arrow. Nice deep breaths. Maybe this hand comes behind you to stabilize. Maybe it's just resting by the side of the hip. And just draw that leg back a few times, and then you can just move the leg forward and backwards. So just opening through those hips. And then slowly release that leg down towards the mat. You're going to take that forward fold once more. Inhale, arms raise up towards the sky, and then exhale, fold forward, and maybe you come to a little more challenge for yourself on the second time at this pose. So this is Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Many variations. You can always be a nice flat back. You can also have the head curling down. You can have the feet nice and relaxed. Many, many variations depending on your body, your level. Open through the chest, relax the shoulders. And then as you exhale, that belly comes down towards the thighs. You relax the head and the neck. Maybe the arms come to the shins or to the mat. A few deep breaths here. And calm enjoyment within the pose. Nice and slowly roll up. Bring that right leg with you, and then place that foot either on the inside or the outside of the leg, taking your option, either the hug of the leg or taking that arm across the knee. Really get the belly out of the way of the thigh. You want to lift the belly up and over, almost that thigh. Come back into that mudra. Feel grounded through that foot. So really draw that big toe down. Sit nice and tall as you twist towards back shoulder. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale as you twist a little deeper for yourself, or just hold and maintain the pose on that exhale breath. Notice what's going on within the body. All that wonderful work through our sun salutations and our flow is now paying off. And then nice and slowly return to center, taking hold of that right foot, and then just sitting nice and tall. Draw that knee back in towards the armpit. Press the sole of the foot away. And then just mobilize through that hip, forwards and backwards. And then nice and slowly release the legs. And just coming forward onto the mat a little bit. Hands come back behind you. Just windscreen wiper the knees out towards the sides. We're going to come down onto our backs. And just a nice slow roll down through the spine. So you engage the abdomen as you draw the abdomen back in towards the lower back. And the lower back comes down towards the mat first. So you roll down through every single vertebrae, breathing as you go. And connecting all of the entire spine into the mat. Now feel grounded through your back body. And then draw the knees in towards the chest and slowly circle through the knees one way and the other, just massaging your own spine, your own waist, the rib cage. And taking the legs straight up to the sky, coming into dead bug pose. Arms may raise, but try to spread the shoulders out underneath you so the fingertips are reaching up, but the shoulders are not lifting away from the mat. The feet can be nice and relaxed. The toes can be together. The knees can be bent. Try to keep the heels in line with the hips. Try not to take those feet too far away from you because you're going to take tension into the core and engage the abdominals. And if you bring it too far forward, your tailbone's going to lift and you're not having that grounding feeling through the entire spine. Staying and breathing in dead bug for a few moments. Just let all of that wonderful blood that we've worked to our feet, our ankles, into our legs, flow back down towards our hips, our pelvis, and our lower back. All that wonderful blood flow flowing down from the fingers and the wrists after all those downward dogs and cobras and planks, down into the shoulders, into the chest and into the heart. Slowly rotate through the wrists and the ankles, going one way. Notice all those clicks and crunches, and going the other way. And a nice deep exhale as you draw those knees in towards the chest. Roll and massage out. Just going to take a gentle twist here. So if you wish to, you can lengthen that leg along the mat, or you can come into a gentle twist just by bending that knee and then drawing that right leg across the body. Open through the chest up towards the sky and try and anchor through the right side. So you're trying to draw that right shoulder down towards the mat. Just notice what you're feeling here. This is quite an easy stretch, but very complex with physical, because you're working through this whole outer hip, outer side of the body, also the inner thigh, also the spine and the torso, but also that opening within the chest and the shoulders and the upper back. Try to relax and let go. Deep exhale, let go even further. Nice and slowly bring that back into center. Realign through the pelvis and the spine, and then take your option on the other side. Either that leg goes straight or bent, and then maybe you just wish to come onto that right hip as you release on the exhale breath. So as we come from one side to the other, just checking in with both sides of your body, trying to find balance. Our intention says we are balanced, so we want our right and left sides of the body to be balanced, just as we did when we were doing our standing flow and also our standing balance of tree. Deep breath in, deep breath out, let go, relax. And slowly bring it back into center. And draw those knees in towards the chest once more. Roll and massage out. And just take one last posture here, which is our reclined butterfly. Soles of the feet go together. They do not have to be close towards the body. They can be a little bit further away. So just find what's comfortable for you. Hands can come onto the hips as you feel the energy from your own body, your own palms. Close the eyes and just take 5 to 10 of your own breaths here before we come into our final relaxation in Shavasana. Just make sure that you're nice and comfortable within your hips and your spine here. To focus on your breath and your body, and the sensations that are coming up for you rather than the past and the future. Just be within the present moment. Draw that focus inwards. Know yourself. And then taking the hands underneath the outer thighs as you lift the legs gently together. Place the soles of the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Drop the knees in towards one another, nice and gently. Take the hands out to the side. And you can stay here if you wish for our final relaxation in Shavasana, or you can come to full corpse pose, which is where the legs are straight along the mat to the outer edges of your mat. And just allow the feet and the ankles to completely relax. You don't have to hold the feet in place. Let that natural opening come from the hip, that natural rotation. Relax through the belly, the torso, the arms come out to the side, palms face up as you relax into the shoulders. And just be careful if you're tensing and clenching into the neck and also into the face. So relax the facial expression as you breathe out and relax the jaw and the teeth. Closing the eyes, Shavasana is said to be one of the easiest postures to master. Sometimes we can find Shavasana quite hard because we're just lying down on our backs and our mind tries to take over control and it may drift. So if you notice your mind drifting into later parts of your day to come, just bring it back. Bring it back to your breathing. Bring it back to that complete relaxation throughout the entire body, all the way from the crown of the head right down to the tips of your fingers, and all the way from the torso into the legs and into the feet and the ankles. Shavasana is that rejuvenation after your practice, the most important part of your practice. Should never be missed. And even those gentle, precious 5 minutes can be so important for your day. A few deeper breaths here just to bring your awareness back into your body, back onto your mat, and back into your room. And some movement back into the fingers, the wrists, the toes, and the ankles. Maybe you wish to give yourself a big stretch here, just knowing what feels good for your body after your practice, and also after lying down in Shavasana for a few minutes, drawing the knees in towards the chest, rolling and massaging out through the spine. And then slowly rolling over to one side and just pressing that palm down to bring you up into a comfortable seat to close our practice all together. Trying to keep the eyes closed if you can when you return, but bringing the hands back into Anjali Mudra at heart center, pressing the thumbs in towards the sternum. All the fingers and the palms are connected. Grounding through your sit bones, rooting to the earth as you relax the feet, the ankles, the legs. The hips and the pelvis be nice and soft as you lengthen through the spine on each inhale breath. All the way to the top of the cervical spine at the base of the skull, and continuing up towards the crown of your head, that wonderful feeling of rooting and rising. And just returning back to our positive statement for practice today. I am grounded. I am balanced. I am centered. Bring that intention into your mind's eye, and taking that intention with you as you go today. When you roll up your mat and go back into your daily life, Take that intention with you to feel grounded, to feel balanced, and to feel centered. Trying to think less with the mind and feel more with the heart. Give yourselves a big thanks and gratitude to your body, your breath, and your focus and energy today for your practice. And I thank you for joining me today for this practice. Lunchtime yoga with Adrianne. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.